Hey guys, welcome back. It's yours truly, Inzainia. What I've decided that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing basically like a journal. When I do something or take something up into space, I'm going to record it. I'll throw it up as the next journal entry. I'll label it what I'm doing and whatnot, and then that's just how they'll all be. And it'll be normal, just like I've been doing, except there'll be, you know, a chronological order of everything that I get into space and how I got into space and whatnot. I'm starting now, and I'm going to skip up one part, which will be taking the mem up because I've already done that. I did that in the episode 2, the last episode, and so yeah. What I'm doing today is this is the refueler that I told you that I got from that guy. I'll put the link in the information or the whatever it's called, and you know, you guys can go get a copy of this if you want to. This is a basic orbital refueler with a drop down ladder so that you can get your guys into it and whatnot. They can crawl about if they need to, and anyhow, let's get it into space. That's the important part. Now, all of this guy's vehicles, he spent some time and got them all positioned right. The rockets are lined up right, and everything runs beautiful. None of these vehicles are hard to get into space. I mean, they basically almost fly themselves up there. Alright, so here we go. Let's take off. Notice that I have got buku liquid fuel tank things over here. That's because of the way the guy filters the fuel out of all these little tanks, and they all join together. So a lot of these will run out at the same time, and when they do, I'll drop off these outer 4, which will leave me with my center tank burning the fuel that we're trying to get into space, to save, basically to have to use. Unless we're overheating a little, let's turn our throttle down. There we go. That got rid of it. I don't know how much damage overheating does, but I'm coming up at such a slow speed, 81, 82, 83 meters per second. I'll top out probably between 100 and 150 or so. So, a couple, meters per second is not worth blowing up something, if it will. So we're hitting about 4,000 feet. I've started getting a lot better, supposedly, I think I have, at my gravity turns, and I've learned to go out to the map view and use that once I've jettisoned off my rockets and stuff that you're not taking, basically your liftoff payload, so that I can then jump into the map view and see it from there. And it just makes it easier for me to do so, or and it might you too. I don't know. But the project goal is going to be to get this up there and then eventually attach other components to it, build an entire space station, probably end up using 2 of these. And, because this has a little solar panel array, but I want to build a huge solar panel array and put up there. And, I've seen some really cool stuff, but I don't right yet, I don't know how they function. Oh, shoot, I'm at 15. I need to pay more attention. Let's see. Alright, let's drop back some more. Yeah, see, I'm getting a lot better at this control. I'm about 96 degrees instead. There we go. It's so hard to fine tune sometimes. Probably be a lot easier if I turned on my RCS, but hey, I'm at 30,000 feet, which is still a little too high for the speed that I'm doing. I need to be doing a lot faster, basically, is what I'm saying. Alright, here we go. Dead on 90 degrees, 89 degrees, a little over 1100. Let's head out into the map view. And, yeah, we're doing good. So, let's go back in. I've got to get ready to drop these bad boys here real shortly. And kind of toggle between the 2. There we go. We get rid of them. And then we're going to set it at about 275. Now, I've learned how to stop this. Basically, you just cut your throttle once you get it around where you want. So we're going to go for 275-ish. And it's probably still going to increase just a little. Let's give it a little bit more throttle. I can't from here, it seems. Alright, let's stop it completely. There we go. And then we'll add a maneuver here. And spread our orbit out to kind of get just, ooh, a little too much there. Right about there should be good, maybe. A little bit less. Let's zoom out some so I can see. Here we go. Let's bring it in. I want to keep it just inside, and then we can move it over some with that. And that's pretty darn good right there. Yeah, right in there. Alright, so we can do all that from here actually now. So let's turn our RCS on, SAS off. Let's line up. It's a lot easier to line up with the RCS going. I mean, it's all your little tanks. Okay, come on, get over there, big dog. Right there. Okay, we can turn the RCS off. Remember to turn your RCS off, you know, unless you're actually using the propellant to turn, or you'll end up, you know, with no RCS, no mono, whatever it's called. Here, I can check because I can't remember the name of it. I'm learning the names. Mono propellant. You'll end up with none of that. See, right now I've got my resources locked there. You can click on that, and it'll make your resources stay up there when you move off. I really wish that they would add a way for you to see your resources when you're in the map view, because then you literally wouldn't have to come out into this view unless you were doing alignments, docking, and stuff like that. 90% of the videos that I've seen, the guys are doing a lot of their movements and stuff from in here when they need to be watching their throttle. So if they could, like over here, you know, or over here, if you could make it to where all your stage stuff is still active in here, and you could see your thing from this view also, it would be awesome. But, you know, we'll see. I'm about 3 minutes off, and I need to burn for 1 minute and 8 seconds. All my fuel is stabilized. If you see now, before it was like some of them were low and some of them were high. They've all equaled out because they're all tied together. This is basically your working structure here now. I could jettison these off if I ever need to hook up to them points, but then I don't have the thrusters. But it's got some little ones, if you look right here, a bunch of little ones around it that you can toggle with number 3, which it's got a name to it, something group or something like that. You get these little groups, 1 through 0. 1 brings my solar panels out. 2 disengages them. That whole platform will disengage and just float away. And then I'll have 3 docks that I can attach. Now, the cool thing is that if I put triple docks on whatever I'm docking to, all 3 docks will connect so long as they're pretty close to aligned when I dock. Plus you have this docking port, you have like 4 here, and then you have 3 back here. When you jettison these off, there's 3 under there. So, you know, he did a really fine job on this. I'm going to, I also found out how to make time lapse with the bigger vehicle. The MIM, you have to turn the SAS off. If you disable the SAS, then you can time lapse. If you don't, then you can't. It'll tell you that error that you can't use it while the vehicle is throttled up or something, even though it's not throttled up. I guess something in there still functioning that you have to stop, and you know, so that's that. So let me go into the map view. I'll time warp at about 3. I like to start when node in T-0 is when I start my throttle. A lot of people do it beforehand. A lot of people do half and half. I find that I get better results by just going, you know, a couple seconds before. 3, 2, I start right about now. And then I just full throttle it for the estimated burn time. And 9 times out of 10, I'll line my orbit. Will line right up on that yellow line. Sometimes it don't. Most of the time it does. This is a big burn to get me into this atmosphere, and I did it on the periapsis, or apoapsis rather. The periapsis is a small one, sorry. The apoapsis is the furthest point of your orbit away from the Earth. Yeah, I'm learning, see? We might be rednecks, we might have dropped out of school, but we still learning. So here we go. About 23, 22, 21 more seconds. I wouldn't have to do this. As I told you in the last video, I had one of these in space already, but I was trying to dock another mem with it, in the off camera, and I accidentally ran into the damn thing. Excuse my language, sorry. Okay, see, this time my thing's going to be off. But that's close enough, and then I can correct it if I need to, which I'm going to have to. So maybe, starting half and half, because if you look at it, I'm still lined up here, but I'm not over there. And I didn't quite burn as long as I was supposed to. And I guess I see what happened. My target moved on me. Let me turn on RCS. So I guess it was because I was doing multiple things. It was a two-stage deal, maybe? I don't know. All right, come on, slow down, slow down, slow down. Oh, wrong way. These things are just the way that the inverse works whenever you flip the your little ball, whatever it's called. Dadgummit. All right, I think we got it now. Oops, no, we don't. Because it keeps, we're spinning. All right, let's just use that to stop it. All right, so now let's spin it and get it back to level. There we go. And you can just hit T again to stop it, or you can hold F and shift over. That just seems to work a little better for me. Okay. We'll get it eventually, don't worry. All right, they were pretty close. Right there's good. Now, I don't know. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one, and then we'll add another one here to shrink it back some inside the zone where I want it. Okay, that ain't bad. That's actually pretty good right there. Let's shift it over just a hair. This way. Alright. That's not bad. That'll do right there, actually. And got about 50 seconds, and estimated burn time's 2 seconds, but yeah, okay. That thing likes to mess up for me more than it works. Anyhow, we're going to get this through this and get into this final orbit, and then that'll be the end of this one. We'll have put the refueler back into space. I'll open up the panels for it, or the whatchamacallit, the Doomaflunkies, the solar panels. There we go. It'll come to me eventually. Sometimes I just need to smack myself in the back of the head and think. Alright, so there we go, lining up pretty good. I need to hook my gamepad up that I use for Foreman Simulator and try using that and see what happens. See how good I do. There we go. Alright, this ain't going to be a long burn. We're just looking to see if we can get it right. 3, 2, 1, go. Almost perfect. Heck yeah, boys. Look at that. See, most of the time it works. Sometimes it don't. But anyhow, we're laying just inside. Oops. I deleted it on accident somehow. We're laying just inside. We've got an apoapsis of 271, a periapsis of 243, so they're within 30K of each other, which is good enough and close enough to a circular orbit for me, considering that my targets is probably worse. It looks like the whole thing shifted up and to the right. I don't care, as long as it's close. That's all I care about. It's really close, actually. But anyhow, let's go and shift back to the ship, and we'll open up these solar panels. You just hit one. There they come, see? They're going to come out, and they're going to rotate and orient themselves towards the sun, whichever direction that happens to be, which is that way. So there they go. They'll spin around so that the sun hits them, and we can orient the vehicle, which will make it help this. So right now they're laying against each other. You're not going to get, see, that's all shaded still. You're not going to get as much, I would assume. You might still, it might let you, but for visual reference and for the way that it looks, I would like to orient the ship pretty much straight up and down. That way, no matter which way you go around, your solar panels are going to There we go. Be sure to remember to disable your RCS, because you will run out of monopropellant extremely fast if you don't. Like, let's see, I only used 13 units, 13 liters, 13 gallons, 13 whatever. I used 13 units of it, so that's not too bad. And I've still got almost half of my fuel, which is actually less fuel than I had left on the last one that I had while I was up here. Or the last one that I brought up and crashed. Anyhow, what I was saying about that was I was trying to connect MIM to it, and had it. I actually rendezvoused with it, had it lined up, was like 400 meters out, was coming in nice and slow at about 6.5, but I was running really low on monopropellant, so I turned off my RCS while I was coming in, and I realized, about 10 seconds before I got to dock, that I needed to slow down. It just kind of dopped out of me. What can I say? It's Inzainia. It just completely evaded. I completely just didn't even notice the fact that, hey, I was going to have to slow this thing down. I was only moving about 5 or 6, meters per second towards it. I'm moving in towards it, and then I go to hit control, which is your reverse, thrust, to slow down, or it was S or whatever. I figure it out, all the controls, as I'm doing it again every time, it seems, because I just haven't memorized them all. But anyhow, I was applying reverse thrust, and it wasn't doing anything. I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going, and the next thing I'm trying to figure out, I'm hitting space to change between linear docking mode and the RCS docking mode, and it just won't go. It won't stop. And then I look up, and I realize about 2 seconds before I run into the station that I had turned the RCS off. So be very careful when you're docking and in docking mode. You need to leave your RCS on during that, or at least remember to turn your RCS on, because if you don't, you end up smacking into a space station, possibly blowing that space station up, which I did, and blowing up your ship, which I did. I mean, 2 big gas bombs ran into each other. I really wish I'd been recording it, because it would have been something that y'all could have just watched and laughed and had a good time watching. So here we go. We have got our refueling station in space, running at about an orbit of about 271 and 243, so an average of about 260, 265. And we're facing down, and all of our solar panels are getting sunlight from the sun. So all of our electronic, yep, it's all at 100%. It's all, or well, at 100, which is full. You get on the dark side of the planet, and these things will actually drop down some. You can watch them, and I don't know if they will if you're not using anything, but if you are using anything, like your guys and whatnot, I don't know how it works out, but your electrical stuff, if you use it, it goes away, and in the dark side, you can't get it back, so you got to wait till you come back around, I assume. I mean, that's just normal, and everything else in this game seems to work normal. Anyhow, mission time, we're hitting about 17 minutes, which is a little bit too much. So, all right. Journal entry 1 complete. We have a refueler in space. Next one will bring up a MIM dock with it, and or we'll bring up a MIM, which I've already done in phase 2. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect that MIM to this, and I'm going to transfer all of the fuel from the MIM into this one, except for what I'll need to do the MIM's re-entry. I'm going to re-enter with the MIM in the next one, and show you how to land. Well, not land, but how to jettison everything, and then land your capsule. And then we'll just keep going. I'll just keep everything I do, I'll journalize. All right, hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.